faithfully delivering value and interpreting great books worldwide. Hello, this is Sally Talking Books. Today, we're going to talk about this book, Let Kids Be Kids. We all know parenting ain't easy. In this long journey, many parents often feel anxious without realizing it, worrying that in a blink, kids pick up bad habits they can't shake or miss the best learning window, failing to get ahead in life's race and falling behind in skills. And this anxiety often affects how parents treat their kids. Adults get frustrated, like iron won't turn to steel. Kids feel all wronged, and chats end unhappily after just a few words. Over time, parent child communication breaks down. But is this anxious state really inevitable? How can we dodge these pitfalls on the parenting road? The book we're covering today might give you some experience to soothe that anxiety. The author, originally named Bai Yanfei, is a mom of two with her eldest son called Qianer, and so she's better known as Qianer Mom. She's an English education expert with 15 years in teaching English and 10 in kids' bilingual education. Pretty much a star in parenting circles. Her husband, Han Tao, is a language artist who's narrated many classic documentaries, winning the Golden Eagle Award twice for it. A few years back, Qianer Mom and Qianer Dad created the Qianer Channel public account, sharing parenting insights and explaining children's English books. Their recordings of over 2,000 award-winning Chinese and English picture books have gotten thumbs up from many moms and dads. Today's book is a collection of the most popular articles from Qianer Channel, essentially their parenting wisdom, aimed at helping parents ease anxiety and parent with ease. Let kids grow at their own rhythm and let parents savor the joys of being parents. Now, let's dive into the valuable parenting experiences Qianer Mom has shared. I'll break down the book's insights into 4 parts. First, how to communicate with kids heartfully. Second, how to help kids build solid habits. Third, what to watch out for when nurturing artistic talents. Fourth, key know-how for parents in English learning. First up, the initial tip. How to communicate with kids heartfully. Oh, many parents struggle with this, not knowing how to chat with their kids. Criticizing too much just makes them anxious and hurts the child's confidence. Even with lots of encouragement, it slowly stops working. And it could be because the parents aren't really communicating from the heart. Take praise, for instance. Lots of parents don't realize they're just putting on a show of praising. Let's look at an example from the book. Once, Qianer, the author's kid, showed her a new Lego battleship he built, asking, "Mom, check out my design." She glanced at it, thought it was okay, but couldn't spot any difference from before, so she just gave a quick praise. The kid said, "Wow, that's so awesome. Mom loves it." But Qianer wasn't happy hearing that. He frowned and said, "I knew you'd say that." Turns out, Qianer saw through his mom's faking. She actually had an issue with the battleship and wanted help brainstorming, but mom didn't look close or chat seriously, just acted out the praise. From this, we see that good communication with kids ain't about fake, quick compliments. It's about genuinely listening to their hearts. So, how do we actually do this? The author has 3 tips. First, when cheering kids on, a great idea is to mention other kids appropriately. Many folks might wonder, didn't we say not to pit your kid against others? Yep, but if you phrase it differently, using other kids to inspire yours to aim for a good example, it usually works well. The author uses this move a lot. Like in ice skating class, when doing hurdles in skates, whenever he failed, Qianer Mom would say, "Honey, that kid so-and-so used to fail too, but he kept at it, practiced a year, and finally nailed it. Mom thinks you're even more diligent. Maybe in just 6 months, we'll get there too." Hearing this, Qianer perked right up. So when complimenting other kids, it's all about the delivery. So you got to be clear. Are you using others to knock your kid down or to lift them up? Secondly, it's about making kids feel loved. Only communication built on love can truly achieve a heart to heart connection between parents and children. Notably, this love is for the kids and between the parents. Parents today aren't shy about saying, I love you to their children, like in the past. It's a good thing. Giving kids emotional security and making them more open to chatting with parents. Qianer's dad is a perfect example. He and Qianer often hug it out. One yells, Daddy, Daddy, I miss you. The other replies, Daddy loves you so much. Then they start smooching all over, making a slobbery mess. So Qianer shares everything with Dad, and sometimes even rats out Mom. What's more, it's crucial for kids to feel the love between their parents. Psychologists have suggested that the couple's relationship is the heart of the family. Meaning, in a family, parents loving each other is key. It shapes how kids see family and love. When parents truly love each other, they talk gently and cooperatively. Even after fights, they quickly bounce back to honest communication. If parents fight at every little thing, even if they act normal later, kids still sense it keenly. In the long term, this unhappiness makes them worry about their parents' bond, even blaming themselves. If parents hurl insults, it makes kids unsure how to connect with others. With love as the base, parents also need to listen carefully. That's the author's third tip. And some kids talk fast and frantic, stuttering when they're excited. Then lots of parents guess what they're trying to say and finish it for them. Other times, parents are busy working and impatient. They cut kids off when telling a long tale. But the author says, don't do this, because whether finishing for them or interrupting, it messes with kids' communication skills and flow. Instead, parents should really listen to Qianer, who's a chatty kid. One time, he stayed up late without brushing his teeth, chattering away about the cartoon he'd watched. The author kept urging him to brush, but Qianer insisted, Mom, I want to tell you something. She immediately cut him off. Bedtime now. Go brush. Qianer said, No, I really need to tell you. She interrupted again. Enough. I don't want to hear it. At bedtime, Qianer finally got upset. Mom, you never let me finish. I'm telling Dad. Turned out his toothpaste was empty and needed replacing. But the author thought he was just stalling and refused to listen. Later, Qianer told Mom he had many things to share but kept getting cut off mid-sentence. So when teens lock their doors and shut us out, maybe we should ask, did something in childhood make them close their hearts too early? And now, let's explore the second tip, how to help kids build solid habits. Parents know good habits start young, but fixing bad ones often leads to heated tug-of-wars. So, how do we set these rules right? The book offers two methods. First, create task lists for kids. Some might say, won't task lists turn little kids into robots? Qianer Mom believes the opposite. Kids crave routines that give them control over their lives. Knowing what's next banishes procrastination, turning tasks into seamless parts of their day. Start with daily routines. For mornings, Qianer Mom set this list. Brush teeth, wash face, apply lotion, comb hair, change uniform, eat breakfast, check backpack, then leave. The benefits? Busy mornings become organized, giving kids crystal clear expectations. Plus, bite-sized tasks prevent overwhelm. No dawdling, just steady progress till they're school ready. Besides, making task lists also helps build good study habits. At school, Qianer's teacher continued this approach. Take learning vocabulary, for example. Each week, the teacher gives out a word list for kids to study independently. The learning process is turned into posters and displayed around the classroom. One section goes like this. First, read the word 3 times. Second, cut the whole word list into individual words. Third, categorize words in 3 different ways. Fourth, put words into storage bags. Fifth, if finished early, go read a book in the reading corner. This thorough process builds habits for both word learning and material organization. There's also a small incentive. After completing tasks, you can read in the book corner. For habit building, Qianer Mom's second tip is scheduling fragmented time for regular learning. Parents debate whether to fill kids' free time. Some think children should play freely without forced activities. But Qianer Mom disagrees. She believes kids' time needs careful planning. The book cites a teen time management study. In a U.S. community, researchers divided students into two groups. One with packed schedules featuring longer classes, more content, and shorter breaks. For example, replacing a month of summer vacation with schoolwork. The control group had normal classes and vacations. Did the first group complain about heavy workload and less vacation? The results showed these kids initially complained, but after persisting, they improved faster and felt happier than the regular schedule group. Were they all masochists? Not really. Kids lack time management concepts and don't know how to relax during downtime, often feeling bored instead. Over time, they might become sluggish, but utilizing fragmented time can help. Kids may find it tough initially, but once accustomed, they'll feel fulfilled and enjoy it. For instance, the author's son, Qianer, developed regular life and study habits through proper fragmented time planning. He spends 10 to 15 minutes on homework, 15 minutes reading English, 10 minutes recording with dad, 10 minutes practicing ice skating moves, and reads 2 to 3 picture books. Once everything's done, he feels super accomplished and fulfilled about the day. With tasks packed and playtime precious, during downtime, Qianer chooses activities he truly loves, like reading, drawing, playing Lego, instead of zoning out for hours on TV or tablets. From these experiences, we see building good habits isn't about empty slogans. Parents must never force habits, then scold when kids slip up. Instead, weave habits naturally into kids' lives, reinforcing them subtly. With solid habits, learning special talents becomes way easier. Lots of parents prioritize nurturing talents, and the author's no exception. Which brings us to tip 3, what to watch for when cultivating kids' artistic talents. Qianer Mom believes parents must first protect kids' sensitivity to beauty. She's told many kids the tale of Liang Shanbo and Zhu Yingtai. It involves complex historical backgrounds and relationships. At first, Qianer Mom worried kids wouldn't grasp the tragedy of lovers kept apart, but shockingly, many cried. They not only understood, but deeply felt the sorrow. This sadness is kids' sensitivity to beauty, the root of artistic appreciation, and one of childhood's most valuable gifts. But the author doesn't advise parents to do this because whether finishing for them or interrupting, it messes with kids' communication skills and flow. Instead, parents should really listen to Qianer, who's a chatty kid. Once, he stayed up late without brushing, chattering about a cartoon he'd watched. Mom kept urging him to brush, but Qianer said, "Mom, I want to tell you something." She cut him off. "Bedtime, go brush." Qianer said, "No, I really need to tell you." She interrupted again. "Enough. I don't want to hear it." Bedtime came and Qianer finally got upset. "Mom, you never listened to me finish. I'm going to tell Dad." Turns out his toothpaste was empty and needed replacing. But the author thought he was just making excuses to stall and refused to listen. Afterwards, Qianer told Mom that he actually had many things to share, but got cut off before finishing many times. So, when teens lock their doors and shut us out, maybe we should ask, did something in childhood make them close their hearts too early? Now, let's look at the second tip, how to help kids build solid habits. Parents know good habits start young, but when fixing bad ones, many still get worked up and engage in tug of wars. So, how do we set these rules right? The book mentions two methods. First, create task lists for kids. Some might say, won't task lists turn little kids into robots? Qianer Mom believes the opposite. Kids crave routines that help them gain control over their lives. When they know what to do next, they won't fear procrastination and will gradually make tasks part of their routine. This method starts with daily routines. For mornings, Qianer Mom set tasks like brush teeth, wash face, apply lotion, comb hair, change uniform, eat breakfast, check backpack, then leave. The benefits are clear. On one hand, it organizes busy mornings, making tasks obvious to kids. On the other hand, each task is manageable, so kids don't feel overwhelmed, no dawdling, and they're ready for school step by step. So, besides, task lists also help build good study habits. At school, Pioneer's teacher continued this approach. For example, in learning vocabulary, the teacher gives a weekly word list for kids to study independently. The learning process is made into posters displayed around the classroom. One section is like this. First, read the word 3 times. Second, cut the whole word list into individual words. Third, categorize words in 3 different ways. Fourth, put words into storage bags. Fifth, if you finish early, you can read a book in the reading corner. This thorough process builds habits for both word learning and material organization. There's also a small incentive. After completing tasks, you can read in the book corner for habit building. Qianer Mom's second tip is scheduling fragmented time for regular learning. Parents debate whether to fill kids' free time. Some think children should play freely without forced activities. But Qianer Mom disagrees. She believes kids' time needs careful planning. The book cites a teen time management study. In a U.S. community, researchers divided students into 2 groups. One with packed schedules featuring longer classes, more content, and shorter breaks. For example, replacing a month of summer vacation with schoolwork. The control group had normal classes and vacations. So, did the first group complain nonstop about heavy workload and less vacation? Results showed these kids initially complained, but after sticking with it, they improved faster and felt much happier than the regular schedule group. Were they all masochists? No, it's because kids have little concept of time management and don't know how to truly relax during downtime, often ending up bored. Long term, they might even get lazy, but using fragmented time can help. Kids may find it tough at first, but once they get used to it, they'll feel fulfilled and enjoy it. You know, uh, for instance, the author's son, Qianer, developed regular life and study habits through proper fragmented time planning. He spends 10 to 15 minutes on homework, 15 minutes reading English, 10 minutes recording with dad, 10 minutes practicing ice skating moves, and reads 2 to 3 picture books. Once everything's done, he feels super accomplished and fulfilled about the day. With tasks packed and playtime precious, during downtime, Qianer chooses activities he truly loves, like reading, drawing, playing Lego, instead of zoning out for hours on TV or tablets. From these experiences, we can see that forming good habits isn't about empty slogans. The worst thing parents can do is force kids to form habits and scold them if they fail. Instead, we should make habits part of kids' lives and reinforce them subtly. Once kids develop good habits, learning special talents becomes much easier. Many parents highly value nurturing their kids' talents, and the author is no exception. This brings us to the third tip: what to watch for when cultivating kids' artistic talents. Qianer Mom believes parents must first protect kids' sensitivity to beauty. She's told many kids the tale of Liang Shanbo and Zhu Yingtai. It involves complex historical backgrounds and relationships. At first, Qianer Mom worried kids wouldn't grasp the tragedy of lovers kept apart. But to her surprise, many cried. They not only understood, but deeply felt the sorrow. Actually, this sadness is kids' sensitivity to beauty, the root of artistic appreciation and one of the most valuable things in childhood growth. So it's crucial for parents to protect this sensitivity. When kids delight in spring flowers, the worst thing is to scold them for wasting time and tell them to do homework. Instead, we should take them to nature to feel the seasons change and find related movies or picture books to enjoy together. But that doesn't mean the path to learning arts is smooth sailing. Many kids start a talent but soon want to quit due to boring practice. So, when exactly should we let kids quit a talent they dislike? Should we switch directions as soon as they say they dislike it? Let's look at a story from the book. The author's son, Qianer, is a little skating champ now, but at first, he hated it, finding it tiring and boring, always wanting to quit. So, Qianer Mom made a deal with him, decide whether to continue after getting the basics down. 8 months later, Qianer finally got the hang of it and fell in love with skating. No matter how hard or painful the falls, he kept practicing as the coach instructed. So, Qianer Mom believes that for any talent, we should only discuss quitting after the child reaches a basic level. Here, basic level means being able to freely use the fundamental skills of that talent. Before that, kids go through trial and error, haven't grasped the subtleties, and naturally can't enjoy the fun. Only by persisting to that basic level can they walk this path better. They come to like it through persistence, and because they like it, they're willing to persist. After all, life's a marathon, not a sprint, right? Besides artistic cultivation, as an English education expert, Qianer Mom also highlights the fourth tip we'll discuss next. When planning English learning for kids, here's common sense parents need to know. This mainly includes 4 points. First, choose the right direction, like studying graded English materials or telling English stories, attending classes, or teaching at home. The author suggests it's best to decide on a suitable learning direction early on. Graded materials build step by step, while English stories are fun and engaging. One boosts ability gradually, the other sparks interest. As for classes or home teaching, it depends on parents' English level, time, and persistence. Actually, there's no good or bad choice. Setting the direction is more important. Second, patiently persist before seeing progress. Think about how long it takes for kids to learn Chinese. We talk to them from birth, immersing them, and it still takes till age 2 to speak full sentences. And English is a totally different language, needing even more patience. The book features a mom who persistently watched the Disney sitcom Good Luck Charlie with her child. From season 1 to 4, she not only watched every episode repeatedly with them, but also found scripts online and read them line by line with the kid. After long-term listening and reading, the kid could easily handle English picture books and even chapter books with no problem. Besides, don't blindly trust any English expert's advice. We often hear all sorts of suggestions. Some say storytelling's best, others claim English nursery songs are most effective. Faced with this bombardment of advice, Qianer Mom thinks it's better not to believe everything blindly. The same goes for experts' words. Maybe these experts' kids grew up in great English environments, so they didn't need to memorize words or texts. Just reading picture books and telling stories worked fine. These suggestions sound reasonable, but might not work well in different settings. So smart parents should tune out the experts' noise. Tailor the learning plan to your child's unique traits. Finally, Qianer Mom shared methods for guiding kids' spoken English practice. Some parents worry their poor spoken English will hinder their kids, but the author says that's totally unfounded. After hearing lots of authentic English audio, kids naturally develop their own accent. Take Mandarin. Many kids hear dialects from birth, yet still learn standard pronunciation perfectly. So at the beginner stage, focus on sparking interest rather than stressing over accents. Does that mean accents aren't important? Of course not. A pure accent makes simple sentences sound authentic, a huge plus in English learning. Qianer Mom emphasizes two keys for a beautiful accent: massive listening and conscious imitation. Massive listening provides effective input. showing kids what correct pronunciation sounds like. They don't need technical terms like intonation or linking. Constant listening naturally reveals pronunciation differences. So, what should they listen to? The author finds original cartoons more effective than English nursery rhymes. For example, Peppa Pig. This warm, fun family show is a kid favorite and perfect ear training material. She suggests watching each episode 1 to 2 times, then extracting the audio for repeated listening until kids fully understand and can retell it. This is a method she strongly advocates. Instead of many materials superficially, deeply master one before moving to the next accent practice. The second key is conscious imitation, the output phase. In the book, she recommends audio from graded readers like Oxford Reading Tree and Heinemann, where kids read while listening, imitating pronunciation line by line. Only in this way can kids truly master a standard accent. All right, that's all for the 4 experiences Qianer Mom shared in this book. First, we discussed how in communicating with kids, parents should make them feel loved. And on that love base, avoid being fake or speaking for them. Sometimes appropriately bringing up other kids is a good trick, but you gotta master the skill. Not to knock them down with comparisons, but to set a positive example to cheer them on. Second, we covered how to help kids build solid habits. On one hand, parents can clearly list task lists so kids know exactly what's coming. On the other hand, parents should fully use fragmented time to form regular learning, nipping laziness in the bud. Next, when nurturing kids' artistic talents, parents should remember to protect their artistic sensitivity. At the same time, make sure students stick with it till they hit a basic level before discussing quitting. Um, Lastly, common sense parents need to know when planning English learning for kids. The first thing is to nail down the direction for English learning. Once started, parents' own persistence is key, and don't blindly trust experts' advice. Plus, Qianer Mom gave specific methods for guiding kids' speaking practice for our reference. And oh, raising a kid is tough. Parents got to resist outside pressures and rein in their own anxieties. We need both the principles and the methods. But in the end, let kids grow free at their own pace with parents' unconditional love so they can just be kids. That's all for today's breakdown. Reading notes are below the audio, and we'll catch you tomorrow.